Alright, this is my first battle I am recording. Not much to say about the beginning here. I knew he was going to go for the Stealth Rock because, I know him pretty well. And now, obviously, in fear of the earthquake, I'm going to switch, and I go to Vaporeon. And he ends up going for Ice Fang, which tells me he was predicting for something, but I'm not sure what he was thinking. But that's perfectly fine, as I resist it. And then he switches to this thing. This thing ends up being an absolute pain this battle. So I take the time to set up a wish, and everyone gets leftovers and Sandstorm. Wow, that takes forever. So for some reason, I switch into Jirachi. I think I was fearing the Charge Beam for some reason, although I knew I could take it, because it's a Vaporeon, and it can take just about anything. So he switches back to the Hippowdon, as I try and fling a Toxic at it, and unfortunately it misses, which is really, really bad. I needed that to hit, and it didn't. So I protect to make sure he's going to Earthquake before I U-turn straight out to Vaporeon, which I know can take an Earthquake. And as you'll see, it actually takes it quite convincingly. Brings me down to 100. That's 85 points of damage, which is actually pretty good. So I know I can take another one. So I'm going to set up a wish, and then on the next turn, I'm going to proceed to get a super effective Surf on it. But there's the critical hit, and there goes Vaporeon, which that's not what I wanted to happen at all. I needed Vaporeon in this battle. So I send Jirachi in instead, which, for some reason, he switches. I think he was predicting the Toxic, which, yes, I did. Which, I didn't want him to do that. So I protect to see what he does, find out the thing is specs on Aura Sphere. So that gives me a pretty much free switch into my Nidoqueen. That was my lead. And it does not much, which is definitely nice. So because he's specs, he switches out to the Cresselia, and me being cool, I roar it right back out. But unfortunately, it goes back to this Hippowdon that my Nidoqueen simply can't deal with. So fearing that Earthquake, I switch out to my Togekiss, Calatrava, which he hasn't seen yet. And I know I threaten him, and I end up picking Air Slash. This is a Scarf Togekiss that packs Hidden Power Ice, and I think he knows that. But I end up getting the critical hit on the Glad, which gets rid of it instantly, that was huge. I wasn't expecting that at all. But, so he's got this Porygon Z thing, and look at that. Freaking paralysis from a Tri-Attack. That's terrible, because I'm Scarfed. I would have preferred, well, not getting that. So knowing he's choiced, turns out that thing is Scarfed, but has probably a not very good speed IV. It allows Jirachi to pretty much get a free switch in, but I guess I didn't realize the thing was Scarfed because I went for the Protect to make sure it was, and he switched on that, which kind of stinks. So this gives me a chance to figure out what in the world he wants to do. So now I know he's specs locked on the Shadow Ball, and I pretty much can take a Shadow Ball. I can take multiple Shadow Balls. So I U-turn out, going out to my Nidoqueen, which that allows it to get the wish recovery that it desperately needs. This Nidoqueen is not packing leftovers, it has Lum right now. So, unfortunately, no, I don't know why I used Earthquake there. Stone Edge would have been so much more useful, or even Roar, but that was complete brain lapse. So obviously he's trying to get rid of Nidoqueen and gets stuck with Jirachi. And that Cresselia cannot do a thing to this Jirachi. That's awesome that he can't do a thing to me. So it allows me to set up a free wish as it charge beams and does nothing. Like, that was nothing. I think I recovered all back with leftovers. He gets the special attack raise, but that still tells me that I can land a toxic on it. And that was really, really cool. So I charge beams again, get the second special attack raise. And I get my wish. So by this point, this automatically tells me that, you know, Jirachi doesn't want to stay here all day. I mean, I want to get Jirachi out of there. So I U-turn for super effective, which is really cool. I go back out to Nidoqueen, predicting the next charge beam. And at this point, so then I get some toxic damage. And the Stone Edge misses. I needed that to hit. Because of how bulky Cresselia is, I don't know if that would have killed, but I really needed it to. And now it got off a rest, which tells me it's a rest talker. But this is nice because he gets the rest, and I roar it right back out. So it's got one turn of sleep. And here's the Porygon Z. It's an absolute pain. I'm thinking it's going to go for the Ice Beam, but it doesn't matter, because by switching then Togekiss' Death Fodder there, the Sandstorm takes care of that thing, and now it's gone. So that was definitely very nice to do. So I send Nidoqueen back in. I don't want to send in something he hasn't seen yet. I have the better matchup, but he switches out to Hippowdon. And I go for the Earthquake, which is kind of nice. And this basically tells me right here that Nidoqueen is not going to be able to get rid of that thing. That thing packs instant recovery and I don't. So I have to switch, and I go into Jirachi on the Earthquake, which is a little sad, but there's not much else I can do. Because I figure I need Toxic on that thing. Any sort of residual damage I can get on a Hippowdon is going to be huge. So I land the Toxic, and it kills my poor Jirachi with its freaking Earthquake. God, I don't like Hippowdon. So I then switch in a Manectric, and this is kind of strange at first. I'm trying to basically get him to... I'm trying to stall him out here, because I know I can get rid of Hippowdon. I'm packing Hidden Power Grass, which is really cool, because Hidden Power Grass is awesome. So he withdraws, as I set up another sub, he withdraws to a Flygon. So there's my sub, and here's the random Citrus Berry I plopped on it. That's always funny. So here's the Hidden Power, and this is where he was like, oh crap, it's ice. And it's like, no, it's grass. If that was ice, that would have been really cool. But I'm packing Hidden Power Grass instead. Because I normally have ice attacks to get rid of stuff like Flygon. So at this point I'm like, you know what, I just need damage on that thing. So that's what I do. And there's the Earthquake. And now poor Agent Texas is gone. I love Red versus Blue, by the way. And because I know he's locked on Earthquake, perfect chance to send in my setup sweeper. This is a Swords Dance Sceptile. I love this thing to death. But unfortunately, since that's a Specs Lucario, I take a good chunk of damage from that Vacuum Wave. And that's basically going to tell me that I don't think I can win this. Because I'm Life Orbed and there's Sandstorm. If he wasn't running some dumb Sandstorm team, I would be able to sweep through all this. Here's the funny part. I go for the Swords Dance, and he does get the rest. I was counting on that, because I was thinking, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to get rid of a Cresselia. And so I get rid of it with the Leaf Blade as you watch its hit points slowly go down. That's a one-hit KO. And then, Life Orb and Sandstorm, it leaves me at 5 hit points, which he sends in Hippowdon, which also dies to the Leaf Blade, which is really cool. And there it goes. And there I go, unfortunately. There goes my shiny Sceptile. Camera change there. Unfortunately, it's now Nidoqueen versus a choice band Flygon. He goes for the outrage, and I have no idea why. Because I live. I Stone Edge, I'm hoping for the crit, and I don't get it. I don't even know if I could have gotten rid of it anyway. And then he just outrages me and gets rid of me. Random Poison Point hacks on the last turn. You know, I needed that. And that's it. So, comment, rate, subscribe. I do need to step up my game, so see you later.